Now, coming to export. So what is called export? Export means sending goods from India to a place outside India for being delivered thereat. In general, people will stop the definition only by saying the goods are sent from India to outside India. What will happen if you take the goods outside India and bring it back again? Will it be export? What for those are being sent? That is important. So goods are being sent outside India, but for being delivered there, if those are brought back, that is not an export, right? So for the purpose of definition, what is export? Sending goods from India to a place outside India for being delivered there at. Now, this is also a process. As import was a process, export is also a process. Now, this we are talking about from the point of view of customs. So, export begins when brought to place of export. What is the place of export? This can be custom port, custom airport, or land custom station. So for all three taken together, one word is place of export, right? Now, bringing the goods at the place of export itself is not sufficient. The next step is equally important, and bill of export is filed for the purpose of Customs Act. Export begins when the goods are brought to the place of export and bill of export is filed. I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now,
yes,
this
sir.
is the beginning. This is not the export. This is just the beginning. And what for this document is filed? What is the purpose of this document? This is filed for getting the permission from the officer so that goods can be loaded for export. Right. So goods can be loaded on the vessel or aircraft as the case may be. So bill of export is filed for getting that permission. Now this next one is export continues as long as goods are within Indian territorial waters. So here permission taken, goods loaded, but vessel is there at the port itself for another 10 days. Export is not complete. Right. Goods have left the port, but it is anchored somewhere within the Indian territorial waters. It is not export. Right. So export continues as long as goods are within Indian territorial waters. Then for customs, export is complete when goods have crossed Indian territorial waters for being delivered abroad. So there may be a situation when the goods cross Indian territorial water, but the objective is not delivery abroad. Objective is that goods are going to be consumed somewhere within the Indian custom waters itself, maybe on the oil rig. That is not an export. See here, for the purpose of customs, export is complete when the goods have crossed the Indian territorial waters, but for being delivered abroad. If the Indian territorial water is crossed, but the second part is missing, that will not be called as export. Right. So goods are sent from India to the oil rigs which are within that 200 nautical miles. That is not an export. So for customs, then in general, export is complete when we say this distance. This is equally applicable for air also. Right. So distance is equally applicable for air as well. So since we cannot compute in the air, everything is there on the land. Right. So that calculation or the distance has been given in that way. So for the purpose of customs, right, in general, export is complete when the goods have crossed 200 nautical miles. But objective should be this again. If the objective is that goods are taken out of 200 nautical miles and then those are brought back in some other part of the country, that is not export. So export is complete for every purpose. When goods have crossed Indian custom waters for being delivered abroad. Right. So why two different purposes of the export being completed? Direct relation is with the duty drawback. If this is complete, the goods have already crossed Indian territorial water with the object of being delivered abroad, then immediately duty drawback can be claimed. Whether goods continue to be within the 200 nautical miles and another 5 days or 6 days are going to be taken for crossing that area, it's okay. Right? So as soon as Indian territorial water is crossed, duty drawback can be claimed. Okay, so this is the process of export. Is it clear?